Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we will go over one of the two event ships for the most recent event, that is the airfield event, and that is the ship Newport News. As you can see, I've renamed her Olympia, mainly because I already have a Newport News in the way of the Space Camo Des Moines. So we have Olympia because she is a museum ship, and honestly, it kind of works out. You will notice something that I mentioned before. Number 2 turret is missing a gun barrel. So this looks like just a general, Des Moines class cruiser. But number 2 turret only has 2 guns, mainly because Newport News actually had an incident where the second turret had a issue with the middle gun barrel, and it detonated. So this is kind of a nod to that incident. You can feel free to look it up as if you want. Ironically enough, the same thing happened to Iowa, I think it was. One of the Iowa class battleships had a gun explode in the number 2 turret and the middle gun too. So kind of a coincidence there. So let's talk about Newport News. Well, first I'm going to tell you it's a 9.0 cruiser. Yep, you heard me right. Not a 9.6 like Des Moines and Newport News. It's a 9.0. So we have auto-loading 8-inch guns at Tier 9 now, which is terrifying to say the least because you only lose one gun, but that's not that big of a drop in DPS when you have auto-loading Mark 16s. Well, let's take a look at what we have here. 50,100 health, 16% torpedo damage resistance, up to 8 inches of armor, max on the turret faces, belt of 6 inches or 152. We should still have the same citadel as Des Moines, which means you show broadside, you go sink, you go back to port. The modules are all over the place, but you get the idea. Same thing as any Des Moines class cruiser or just any American cruiser, any cruiser at all. Do your best to angle and not show broadside. You'll thank me in the long run. Let's see what else we got. You can see the maneuverability and everything like that down there. Guns. We have 10 rounds a minute, 8-inch guns. See all the stats here. High explosive is really fast. Armor piercing, not so much, but you should only be really using armor piercing when you're close in, or at least I like to do that. You're still just going to rake up a ton of damage at 10 rounds a minute. Range is 16.1 kilometers. Secondary range is 5.6. We got the twin 127s you can see here. Not really. I mean, secondaries are secondaries for American cruisers. There's not really any good ones except the ones on Norfolk. So nothing special there. Speed of 33 knots, so not anything fast or slower than a normal cruiser. And A defense is pretty good. We do get those twin 76 mils or the 3-inch autocannons that we also find on like Illinois and Worcester and Des Moines itself. And I think Albany has them too. So a lot of good AA potential. However, you will notice she does not have a fighter. She has a catapult or a crane for a fighter, but no fighter itself. So that is one thing you will have to remember because we have special consumables. We have a normal heal, we have a repair, and we have a smokescreen. A smokescreen Des Moines. The only thing more terrifying than that is, well, it's pretty similar to Minotaur, actually, I would say. And you know how strong Minotaur is in the hands of the right person. Smokescreen is, let's take a look at it. We have 4 uses of it. It lasts 30 seconds, and it has a cooldown of 150 seconds. So it does have a pretty long cooldown, but imagine a Des Moines and a smokescreen. So not only are you now untouchable by surface units, but you're untouchable by air units because they can't see you. And your AA is just mad strong as well. But you do not have a defensive AA consumable, so you really can't go full AA build with her. Well, I mean, you can if you want, but you just don't have that defensive AA to help you out afterwards. So, this is more of a cruiser killer and a battleship witherer. You can kind of hunt destroyers with it. I mean, there's nothing saying you can't. But the main thing is that it's a Des Moines at a tier 9, which is actually really good. So let's toss her into the game and show you how she does. Alright, we're about to get ourselves into a game. Let's see what we have today. Hopefully there's a carrier. There is a carrier. We have a Taiho, Friday de Gross, Alsace, Missouri, Vladivostok, Olympia, and a Tashkent. Oh, I didn't even go over the update. Okay. Yeah, so there was an update this week. Nothing too exciting. Besides a new sister ship to Vladivostok, or Project 23. I will hopefully remember to show that in a moment after this game. But if not, certainly check it out. It's actually a really nice camo too. It's not one of those funky camos like we just got for Duke of Edinburgh. It's actually a nice normal camo. Alright, so we're just going to start heading down towards the middle here. What do we go against? Yeah, a lot of battleships. So let's see, we got 16s, 16s, 15s, and 16-inch guns. At least the 16s can overmatch me, and then all of this for their 15s can just overwhelm me with the number of shells she can dish out. So we're going to have to try and keep a nice nose-in target when we're handling battleships. But we should be able to deal with that cruiser and destroyer relatively quickly, assuming we can sight them. Remember, if you pop a smokescreen, you don't have a fighter to spot for you. That is one of the main drawbacks of this, actually. Alright, we're going to pull off to the side here. And it's not a... well, I don't think it's a crawling smokescreen either. I think it's just a stationary one. So you pop it and you sit in there and use it as much as you can. But yeah, having a smoke Des Moines is a very scary thing. I never thought they would put anything like this in the game. Speaking about putting stuff in the game, I am almost completed getting my materials ready for a couple upcoming videos in regards to my predictions for tech trees and like gem, prism, events, all those kind of special ships as well. So probably be the last time I do videos on that. My first couple videos I did a year ago plus now. Some of those did come pretty close to be accurate, such as the French destroyers. That was pretty accurate. But I have additional lines to add for different countries too. 2 additional countries, I think, yeah. And then, yeah, a lot of special ships. So I already have the ships planned out. I just now have to get my little picture PowerPoints set up, and then I will be able to do videos on those. So we're going to pop a smoke screen here, going back to the game. So if you're looking forward to those, they will be coming out soon. I did say I would go over the existing French destroyers beforehand. So we do have those to go through. Surprisingly enough, I'm not actually excited for the French destroyer videos. I like Bourrasque at tier 5, but as soon as you go past that, it's actually a lot less fun, mainly because the playstyle stays the same, but the enemies get a lot harder. Well, obviously, the higher the tier you go. And you kind of need a lot of big change, and you don't really get that in the French destroyer line, but we're still going to do a video on her, on all of them. So, just one at a time. Alright, so we're just sitting here, sitting pretty in our smoke screen, not really worrying about anything. Sending HE downrange, lighting some fires. I haven't actually been focusing on anyone. The cruiser and destroyer are already gone, so now it's just 4 battleships and a carrier, and a lot of those are out of range. But we're setting some fires on this Vladivostok over here. The Friday de Gross is just in range if I wanted to engage her. But honestly, you just kind of sit here and rain shells on them. I'm not necessarily accurate right now. Although I did go for, well, no, I went for rate of fire and reload instead of accuracy as my module. So if you wanted to, you could actually improve this accuracy even more. But honestly, my playstyle is just send as many shells as you can downrange, and you'll get a kill. That was some nice timing. Alright, Friday de Gross, ready to burn? Yeah, it's no real different playstyle than a normal Des Moines, except you don't have defensive AA. Instead, you have smoke, which does have its own playstyle in itself, but the ship itself is not really any different. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Let's actually try armor piercing. We have a pretty good broadside, and it'll go through the upper deck and or upper belt if I hit it right, though she is turning in. So a lot of this might not actually do anything. Switching back to high explosive here. Yeah, see, pretty much nothing. Yeah, the way of Des Moines is that you just kind of bury the enemy in the number of shells you can send out. It's not really all about how much damage you can deal per salvo or how many shells you can hit per salvo. In this case, I'm actually hitting the turrets a lot and shattering. Ooh, the Taiho is actually pretty low as well. Alright, Missouri, let's dance. We're gonna start with armor piercing because she's gonna come around this corner fully broadside. I'm still kind of far away though. I don't really expect these to do much. I'm a very aggressive Des Moines player when it comes to bots, so I just rush right at them because they can't hit me, and when they do hit me, they kind of just bounce off with the bow. So having or sitting in a smoke screen is not really going to work for me right now. I could certainly do it, but I get more accurate the closer I get. And honestly, my armor piercing is kind of being disappointing right now, so let's switch back over to high explosive. See if we can get some fires on Missouri. I can lob my shells over this island. Yeah, there we go. See? A lot of good damage right there. So, we're going to keep sending shells this direction. Could use auto fire, but honestly, if it's not a destroyer, I tend to not use auto fire. Alright, there's one fire. There's two fire. There's an island, Missouri. You can't shoot me. Can we get another fire on the stern? There we go. Cool. Taiho is not in range, but we are definitely coming around the corner for this Alzas here. Let's just take a look. Are you maneuvering? Yes, you are. So you know what? I'm going to do a cheeky little trick. Guess what? I am very close, but you still can't see me. And now I'm just going to rain, well, shatter armor piercing on your belt. But there we go. So in instances like this, it's actually pretty good. There we go. Bye. But, I mean, I just kind of wasted a smoke. But honestly, I have them to spare. The Taiho is now in range, though. I think I would be able to do some good damage to her at this range with armor piercing. So we're going to come about, because the Missouri's coming around the corner there, too. Taiho's very fast. I always forget that. You know, let's start reversing so we can keep this Taiho in range. A shatter, that's nice. Alright, so the Missouri went down. So all I have left to deal with now is the Taiho, and we just got a triple citadel on her and she went down. Cool. So, as for the first event ship for the airfield event, this is actually a really, really strong ship. Not only is it a Smoke Des Moines, but it's a 9.0 Des Moines, which is itself broken. We didn't get that much damage, only 195,000 damage, 3 ships sunk, 220 shell hits, 5 aircraft shot down, 3 citadels, 10 fires, 1 module destroyed, and 8 secondary hits. But a lot of that damage was in high explosive. 85,000 damage in high explosive, 38,000 damage in armor piercing. The fires did 70,000 damage, almost as much as the shells themselves. Secondary battery actually did a little bit as well. That's always nice. So yeah, full HE spammer, and if you get a nice broadside, full AP spammer. Same kind of playstyle with Des Moines, except you get to shoot squishier targets, and you have a smokescreen to hide you. And I did remember, so let me show you the new camo as well. I don't have a name for her yet. That's not the right country. Here we go. Vladivostok. This is the newest camo. It's actually pretty dang good, like I said. I'm not going to complain about this one. I always like the little camos they come out with. So you don't really get a choice when it comes to event ships. If you earn it, you get it. But if you're thinking about, well, the event only lasts a few more days, but if you're wondering if you should grind it out, definitely grind for the ship. This one is one of the best ones, or event ships, most useful ones, I should say, even if it is pretty much a copy-paste of the ships already in the game. With that, I will wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and join me next time while we go over Majestic, the final event reward for the current event. As a carrier. Yay, I love carriers, as everyone knows. So, we'll try not to be terrible with her, because I completely whiffed on the first game I played with her, and I haven't touched her since. But that is for tomorrow's video. So again, thank you for watching, and take care.